Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Call Loyum La Allahinawa Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone, who do teach and rule well, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, tell us this 100% truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the house of David, the hopeful elect. You Akim out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity. To those of you likened unto the speckled birds gathered to the four corners, speaking in different tongues, unto you we say Shalom. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 23. I'm going to start at verse 18. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. He knew all things ere ever they were created, so also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. All right. And, this is particularly, for this article, we're going to, focus on Esau. All right. Because when you actually go into blue leather, that word wedlock goes into adultery. Okay. And we know that there's, physical adultery, and there's also that spiritual adultery. All right. And ultimately, a form of that, really you could liken that unto Esau and that birthright. Okay. Basically breaking away, and not and ultimately breaking away from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and not being spiritual, not having faith. All right. And verse 19, such a man only fearing, the eyes of men, and not really taking into consideration the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, because that's how Esau is, man. Esau and his methods, okay, everything that he does, all right, he thinks that nobody is watching him, okay, and ultimately, through the spirit, all right, I got this article, that I'm going to bring out, okay, because, the elders have been, having, visions, all right, the Elder Apostle Gabar did a video on Elder Yahweh's dream. All right. And also through the spirit, as I have covered, recently, just in regards to, basically Esau's technology. He got eyes everywhere, but the eyes of the Lord are brighter. I guess this can be a part 2 to that. Okay. Because I kind of touched into the different extremism that he was going to be looking into. All right. And then Esau's wrath and surveillance was 3 weeks ago. All right. Where I found another one. All right. But nonetheless, real quick, this is the Intercept article. All right. And basically someone from the Pentagon leaked who they were going to have help them be part of their expert team. All right. And when you actually look at this list, okay, this is the leaked document, which, in the article, it states that the Pentagon source said it was released last month, I believe. Okay. And this is it. It says that the Countering Extremism Working Group would like to partner with experts on counter extremism and counterterrorism to better understand the scope of the problem and inform the 90-day report for the Secretary of Defense. These experts may come from advocacy groups, academia, and other areas that contribute to the fight against extremism. We welcome your input in developing a short list of experts who can engage in an open forum or dialogue with the CEWG in May or June. Okay, so these are the people. All right. Now, we're not going to focus too much on the first one. All right. Part of these advocacy groups, because as you see, they have NAACP, but they don't have nobody named. OK, and that's spiritual because ultimately, they have to find somebody, all right, out of the NAACP, okay, that will ultimately be in league with them, all right. But as you see, they have the ACLU, okay. They have what's the other one? Slovakia. The Anti-Defamation League, all right, under academia, number 2, Dr. Mark Pitkovich, all right, Anti-Defamation League, okay. And then down at the bottom, all right, it shows other experts, and you have Southern Poverty Law Center, all right, Southern Poverty Law. You got 1, 2, you have the Anti-Defamation League again, okay. You have the FBI Agents Association, okay, going into the other lesson I did, all right, and how basically the FBI has so much information on so-called black identity extremists, all right, that they lied and rebranded the way that they were, basically tracking so-called activists, all right, basically, using, ultimately everything at their disposal, to keep tabs, all right. And then not only that, of course, you have the most recent article of the Pentagon and how they have 60,000 undercover, spies basically working all over the place, man. All right. And, it's beautiful because these particular, especially from the Southern Poverty Law, all right, they claim themselves to be experts, but expert really goes out of experience, all right. And you can't be an expert in something, all right, especially like this, if this is unprecedented, okay. All right, starting since the 1960s, okay. Yeah, they have kept eyes, all right. As we all know, they have, okay, with the increasing of technology, all right, it has been widespread, all right. And we know that can be attributed to the unicorn, all right, the World Wide Web, all right. And that's why it has flourished the way that it has, all right. And it's all through the spirit, because I went into the Southern Poverty Law Center, all right. And this was the most recent article. Well, it was a release actually of their most recent one in 2018. They've released others outside of that, but as you can see, all right, they have all of these so-called black nationalist groups, all right, and they have ultimately everybody on here, IUIC, all right. Of course, they have GMS. Okay, they have the ISUPK. All right, the Sakari. All right, and then Watchmen for Israel, so on and so forth. All right, but nonetheless, it shows you, okay, and really just the point of this, all right, it shows you that they are specifically using this to target us. Okay. This is specific, all right, and it's not, as they've been saying, all right, and I think it makes mention of it in this article. Okay, yeah, here we go. In the wake of the January 6th Capitol riot, they've established this to root out domestic extremists, all right, but yet, okay, your list literally includes, for the majority, this is a 95% list of so-called, basically those who oppose the understanding that we are the biblical Hebrew Israelites. Okay, it's clear, all right. And again, this was like I made mention, this was released by a Pentagon source last month. All right, and you can tell that the creation of it, all right, even though it was released last month. What month are we in? May, I believe. So May. So this was probably March. March was when they actually released this out, to these particular individuals, or maybe even to higher ups. All right, because they were saying that they wanted to have the 90-day report, done, basically have the dialogue in May or June, and then the 90-day report, following. So probably, between, March, April, getting this information out, and it's all through the Spirit, because, we are seeing that constant increase. We're seeing more people wake up to the truth. All right. Even more so now. All right. You are seeing people specifically, all right, in the Israelite communities, all right, the so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, you are seeing them be more vocal about it, all right, and it makes perfect sense, all right, like we've always been saying, that they would use, all right, because really that Capitol riot was a false flag, all right, they would use this information to target us, okay, and this guy is actually a Jake. On April 9th when he announced it. All right, if you actually go and look at who this Secretary of Defense is, this guy's a Jake, man. A Jake on the outside. He's a so-called black man. But nonetheless, the point is made. All right, and they also mentioned that it includes representatives of a conservative Christian group and an anti-Muslim extremism group. But again, when you look at the list, man, the list is 95%, those who are up against, us, the Israelites, the true men of the Lord. All right. So real quick, just a few key points, and I'm going to close it out. I just wanted to grab that real quick because, it shows that Esau's being made bare, man. We're being shown even more day in and day out, that what we've been saying, what we've been prophesying, and not of our own selves, all right, but what Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has put in our spirits, to prophesy on our different measures and have dreams and visions and, break bread amongst each other, all right, not only over the past weeks, months, but years, man, that the elders and apostles have been doing this. All right. And their elders and high priests that preceded them. All right. But nonetheless, this is showing that we're on point, man. That the Lord is dealing with us. All right. That, it's not all for naught what we've been doing, saying, prophesying. All right. This further validates that, yes, they are going after a specific group of people. All right. And you could just tell, all right, by the inclusiveness of, predominantly so-called Jewish organizations. All right. So here it just goes into that, this was the source, he released it on an anonymous measure. OK, obviously to not be reprimanded. And he said that it was disseminated late last month. All right. So, again, they probably, as it says on the last sentence of the first paragraph, they wanted to engage in a forum or dialogue in May or June. OK, so, again, this probably maybe, was written up from the higher ups, maybe March, and then they, sent it out April, and then they, they're kind of doing the legwork or finalizing the legwork now. All right. Being, closer to the end of May, and approaching June. And, another thing as well, it all makes sense because as you see, things are kind of opening back up again. All right. The brothers and I was just making mention. I was like, man, through the Spirit, they're going to let Jake, go out there, have they fun, spend all that money. All right. And, after that, man, it's over, man. This summer isn't even, this summer is really just a ploy, a ploy to really give you the sense of normalcy and then come right down on your head with that great wrath. All right. They also include the Middle East Media Research Institute, which is the anti-Muslim group that they mentioned. All right. But again, you don't have Muslims out there condemning Esau. OK, you don't have, Muslims prophesying. All right, because their so-called book. All right. It does not include prophecy. All right. But we understand, through the Spirit being the men of the Lord. OK, that it is our book, the one and only book. All right. The Bible. OK, which is the book of prophecy, man. All right. The Pentagon document references one memory staffer in particular, Anat Agran. Last year, the New York Times retracted claims it had made, which were central to its award-winning podcast series, Caliphate, whose main character was a young Canadian Muslim who falsely claimed to have committed gruesome crimes as an Islamic State fighter in Syria. Okay? And basically, they found out about the young man through a researcher named Anat Agran. All right. And this Anat Agran is, again, just nothing but a FJ, man, a rat. Okay. Real quick, there was one other point. We're not even going to get into the Christian conservative nonsense because we know they are through. Salakia, bear with me. Did they even mention? No, they did not. They didn't mention it in here. But basically, also part of this decree ultimately that came out was that they're actually going to be monitoring the military. They're going to be monitoring all of their militaries, so-called social medias and certain data to basically also root out those of you in the ranks who are Israelites. All right. And, it kind of reminds me, just in closing real quick, it kind of reminds me when I first came into the truth of a specific individual who was in the military. We used to break bread, in my early days. And looking back now, he would openly speak about the truth on base, which, now, just looking back and, being mindful and using wisdom, that's just not wise, man. So Esau doesn't even need to use his technology on you because you've already basically put the target on your back, if you will. We understand everything's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but nonetheless, brothers, just continue to use wisdom. All right. Be mindful. All right. As more information comes out, I don't want to rock this out. I'll just cover it, just quickly. Because, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, we're watchmen. So, we keep in mind and we keep our eyes open for, as they would say, new developments, So, again, this was just an example to show you that, they're targeting one group of people, man. It's clear, this is not a wide group or list, that you can use and be like, oh, well, it's more leaning to the left or it might be leaning. Nah, we can clearly see, specifically by these organizations, that this is another Psalms 83 push. They are confederate against thee. They have come together, all right, with one consent. All right, so Lord willing, you was edified. Just something real quick, man. And, again, man, they say that these people are experts, but you can't be an expert in nothing if you haven't experienced it, man, But ultimately, it shows their hatred, man. It shows the agenda, man. So, closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do teach and rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the house of David, the hopeful elect. You, Akim, out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity. To those of you likened unto the speckled bird, scattered to the four corners and speaking in different tongues, unto you and until next time we say Shalom.